Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Eileen, and this is a daily dose of medicine walk. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. So, today's topic, and it's one that seems to be, it's like the longer we're in quarantine, the broader our TV viewing or whatever tends to be. And one of the things that sucks people in a lot is drama. And for empaths, it can be kind of a double edged sword. So, we're going to take a look a little bit at how drama plays into the life of an empath. Now, the interesting thing is that many empathic children are accused of being overly dramatic. And the reason that we're accused of being overly dramatic is the fact that, one, we are feeling things that we don't understand. Two, we are not able to articulate what it is that we're feeling or why, because there seems to be nothing to trigger it other than someone else's experience. And that's usually when we're also accused of being too busy in other people's business. And also, we don't have the maturity to be able to realize that it's our empathy, that those feelings don't belong to us. So, when you have a situation where a couple of people are in high drama mode, the tricky part is that if, let's say you have two people and they're going at each other, and one of them takes you aside and complains and complains and complains, and it's like, well, you get it, right? You see that, you know that. Because that person's emotions are so strong, if you're not really good at kind of identifying your point of empathy and being able to, sort of rein it in, it goes into the place where, oh, yeah, I do agree, because the resonance is that strong, and you are going to match the energy of the person you're dealing with. And then you talk to the other person and they pull the same thing. It's like, well, you agree with me, don't you? Again, you're with somebody who has very strong energy, and you end up agreeing. Well, then when those two get together to talk, the first thing they bring up is that you talked about both of them. So then suddenly they're buddies and you're the one on the outs, which can be a very difficult situation. And believe me, it was one that before I really learned what it meant to be an empath, it was one that I found myself in a lot. And it wasn't that I meant to talk about anybody else. It was just that all of a sudden I couldn't help it. I didn't understand that I was being compelled by an internal instinct to agree. So, there's a couple of different things about this. One, generally, empaths do not like drama. Empathic adults, we tend to avoid it, with the exception of the fact that resonating with someone, it does give you kind of a charge. And there are times when empaths get very, very attached to that sensation, especially if you're around somebody who has a very, very, very strong personality, shows, huge amounts of confidence and, real alpha male or alpha female personalities. And the thing is that we start to resonate with that, and we feel that confidence within ourselves. We feel that sense of power because we're resonating with them. So it's not so much that it's ours, but we get to share in it. So when people are attached to those types of sensations, yeah, they will seek out drama, because that always leads to very intense emotions. Now, that is the exception, or at least I have found it in all the empaths, and I've dealt with a lot of empaths. And in general, most of them want to avoid it because it's disruptive, it's dissonant within us, especially when we're caught between two people. There are very few situations that an empath finds more uncomfortable than being between two strong personalities, and our resonance almost like it doesn't know where to go because it's looking to see which one is stronger, and we end up flowing to that side. But if you have two equally strong personalities, bam, and it tears us. We don't know. And then they're just standing there going, it's like, well, who do you really agree with? What do you really feel? In that moment, we don't know because we cannot separate our own space and our own choices from our empathic reactions. So, what do we do? Well, usually it's best to avoid those situations, especially if it's like between friends or, God forbid, family. It is important to be able to stay in a neutral place. Now, does that mean you cannot use empathy? No. In fact, you can use your empathy. Just understand where your connection lies. It's not with the strong energy of the expression of the anger. The empathy goes towards the more submerged feeling of fear. Because in most cases, when people are being reactive, it's not their adult self, it's not their adult brain that is doing it. Sorry. It's their child. It is their inner child who's reacting. And so that's why when we see two grown adults standing and going at each other like they're children on a elementary school playground, well, that's who we're dealing with. And that's who we would be empathizing with. And, when I'm in those situations, well, first I go with avoidance. If I cannot avoid, then I explain to them, okay, I will listen to you, and, we can explore this together, but understand I am not going to bad talk anybody. This is about what you're feeling. This isn't about what I'm feeling. So if you want to talk this through, I can hold that space for you. And so I let them, I let them go around. It's like, and every once in a while, if I need to, I will ask questions. It's like, wow, that sounds like it was very hurtful to you. Tell me about that hurt. Tell me about, and in most cases, if somebody talks about their hurt long enough, they'll realize maybe it had something to do with something else. That's not where the hurt started. That's just where it erupted, was in an action or a statement by someone else. But that the heart of it lay somewhere else, which means that empaths can be very helpful in that. Once again, if you really want to get involved, if you can avoid it, avoid it. But as long as we were able to use our empathy in a way that allows us to remain in our place of a witness, that means that we can be very helpful in that situation. I mean, generally, drama will end up, going along the wayside. Drama passes. It really does. So when you okay, Sam? It's like you periodically suddenly will let out a growl for no reason, but you may even be sleeping. So anyway, hold your ground, and that way you can't end up getting in trouble for saying, doing, or supporting something that you did so because it was a reaction. It was a response to resonance. Stay in your place of choice. And, if you're an empath and you have, a concern about a particular dramatic situation, then feel free to contact me. And I'll be happy to give you my perspective on it, and then you can do what you want. But honestly, it's okay if we let others just settle their own stuff. We don't have to get involved in the drama. We don't have to get, into the social media and the back and forth on Facebook or commenting or anything like that. It's best to avoid that. Because I often find if people are left to their own devices, ultimately they'll figure out a way to settle things. If we can help, great. If we're not asked to, stay out of it. It's okay. The world actually can take care of itself while we take care of ourselves. Help where you're needed. And other than that, cut loose from the drama. So, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the video, then you can reach me through my Facebook group, Medicine Walk with Dr. Eileen. And you could also follow me on Twitter. And you can also reach me through my email. That is, my email address is in the description for both Blog Talk Radio and for YouTube. If you have a comment about the video, please leave the comment because I do answer them. If you have a particular topic in empathy that you're interested in, then I will be happy to explore that for you. And if you like the video, please press like. And if you think this is not such a bad thing, this channel and what we're doing and what we're exploring, then please subscribe. It will really help out the channel. So, again, thank you for joining me. And as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you. And see you next time. Bye.